So welcome back to the channel. In this video, taking a look at the FUD currently circulating around Binance and BNB. There's actually two hit pieces going on right now, two FUD storms, one from the SEC and another, a bit of a hit piece from Reuters as well to dive into. On top of that as well, BTC price action may have been, scuppered a little bit here with a relief rally only lasting maybe 12, 16 hours due to the fact we had the crypto bill potentially leaked here. So quite a bit to dive into, but focus on BNB, the Binance story that is just breaking right now. Is it FUD? Is it misguided? What's going on? But starting here with the BTC price action, as we mentioned in yesterday's video, that kind of pivot point at around 30,400 bucks needed to hold. We could have pulled back to there and still be, blue skies ahead and maybe potentially pushing on for further relief and a bit of a bounce higher. But that did not hold. We smashed straight through it. We had a bit of a breather here at about 30,200. But as you can see, going down all the way to $29,200. So BTC price action here looking pretty damn bad. You can see the kind of Bart Simpson price action here and drops off. Again, we had the move up, Bart Simpson here, and a drop once again. So very much scammy price action for Bitcoin right now. But here we have Binance. So BNB token, the number 5 crypto by market cap. And as we see as well, we have number 7, XRP, also under investigation from the SEC as well. That's been going on for years now, but BNB being added to the list here. So some things to be potentially worried about with the SEC going after all of the big names in crypto, suggesting, look, you guys are a security, you launched as a security, and we don't like that. So turning back the hands of time here, Gary Gensler and the SEC. So they are investigating whether Binance, the BNB token, should have been registered as a security in its ICO back in 2017. So 5 years ago, did they do wrong? Yes or no? Let's not look at all of the good things Binance have done subsequently with all the regulation coming out. Binance, I believe, from my point of view, they've done a really good job in actually shoring things up. It was the altcoin casino of choice between like 2017 to probably 2020. But since then, things have got better. KYC has been imposed. They bent the knee on that. They stopped US participants. You could get away with things back in the day, but they've been a lot more hard-stanced with things going forward. And you can see that CZ really wants to be, on the front line, ensuring regulation is built around this industry in the correct manner. So I think they've done a really good job, but apparently the SEC are going after them right now. So with a target on their back here, we can see a bit of a drop-off in the price over the last 24 hours. So from roughly 310 bucks all the way down to around 275, I think it went to. But you can see BNB, the token, peaked back in May of 2021. It's actually one of the best performers in terms of least percentage dropped. It's down roughly 58% peak to trough right now, which is pretty good performance considering the crypto market. So one of the stronger performers, it looks like the SEC have put a target on their back and they want to knock them down a peg or two here. But I think BNB generally is a pretty robust ecosystem. You can see from the daily active users over on the Binance chain, people are using it and they do enjoy using it, and so continue to do so even during a bear market, one of the most used chains out there right now. So SEC investigating Binance's BNB token. So going back 5 years here, turning back the hands of time and seeing, okay, was this ICO conducted correctly, and was this a security that was being sold? The answer is most likely yes. So Gary Gensler has been vocal in his concern that the platform may be hosting tokens that could be classified as securities. If you look at the securities law, most likely a lot of tokens are securities, but do the rules, should they really, comprehend cryptocurrencies right now? Cryptos should be their own asset class, in my opinion, and there should be new regulation, not utilizing the old blueprints from like 50, 100 years back. Anyway, does this mean that Binance could delist the BNB token if it is deemed a security? I doubt it, but I think there will be a slap on the wrist to come. We saw with BlockFi getting the biggest fine back in February of 2022. They paid $100 million to the SEC to make their troubles go away. That was due to, I think, some of the service offerings they were providing for American citizens. They paid a $100 million fine and have since continued to work, but they no longer offer their services to US residents. So will something similar happen here with Binance? Maybe. Will there be a fine? Almost definitely, I would suggest. Additional to this, the SEC is also reportedly investigating the exchange's US arm, which is called Binance.us. to ensure it's appropriately differentiated from its global counterparts. And if you've looked on Binance.us, there are nowhere near the number of services that the main website has, neither does it have the extent of altcoins either. So clearly they have been doing their due diligence, ensuring everything they've done has been compliant with US laws. You know that these guys spend a fortune on compliance. And so I do think that, they've ticked the right boxes, and this potentially will just come with a fine at the end of it. CFTC has also reportedly launched an inquiry into whether Binance allowed US residents to trade on its platform. Of course that happened. People were utilizing VPNs to trade on Binance. You could literally sign up years gone by with just a random made up email address and a password. So there was no issues getting your money in, getting your money out, no KYC, none of that good stuff. But they have amended their ways going forward to be more compliant. So it seems that they want them to pay for their sins of the past. That is my kind of take from this. On top of the SEC FUD though, we also have a hit piece come out here from Reuters over the last 24 hours. So hit with a double whammy, Reuters and the SEC up your bum. It's going to impact things. So is this the reason why the crypto market has had a bit of a sell-off? Because Binance has just been knocked down a peg or two? Potentially. Also the price action is rather obscure right now. People clearly selling the rips. Maybe the Relief Fridays just aren't going to go as high as people are hoping or expecting. So just the lead headline from Reuters here. For 5 years, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance, served as a conduit for the laundering of at least $2.35 billion in illicit funds, a Reuters investigation has found. So they've dug through some numbers apparently and come up with this. They suggest around $2.4 billion has been laundered through the Binance website. In response to this, CZ said this: Build debunks FUD, build being one of his kind of, sexy words that he uses a lot. He's trying to really promote like building better, building back better and all this stuff, kind of like WEF anagrams there. But he's saying that they can debunk all this FUD. And so he's done the right thing here, which has been as transparent as possible. This is real leadership from the man, to be fair. And so he put out today a 50-page document, email records, a load of behind the scenes, information you wouldn't expect to have shared publicly. So they've really been super transparent here and published this 50-page report. And he says this is what they've been sharing between their cybersecurity team and, as he calls them, the cherry-picking, misleading and time-wasting journalists on the other end at Reuters. So if you dive into that tweet here, which I'll leave down below, called The Crypto Money Laundering Myth and the Machine Working Overtime to Sell a False Narrative, it seems that Reuters are very much in the clickbait industry, or are a bought and paid for media application, and maybe someone's trying to FUD Binance in the crypto markets right now and utilizing all the leverage that they have. That is kind of my opinion on things. But they last week put out a blog post publishing a blog that debunked the myth often pushed by adversaries of the crypto industry, which is that it's a haven for illicit money laundering. So sadly, they've had to debunk a few things in the past, but now, once again, they've got to come back and have a bit of a rebuttal to the latest Reuters article. So one author who has published a number of these breathless, pearl-clutching, as they say, articles, ran another piece today. And like their last article, this was brutally fact-checked by multiple third parties, including the centerpiece of their story. This latest iteration is rife with falsehoods, massive leaps to conclusions, and relies on poor data that could have been fact-checked by reaching out to one of the major on-chain analyst firms like Chainalysis. Within this, they've actually got some of the email exchanges between Binance and Reuters. This is kind of juicy to read through. Some of the questions being asked, seeing some of the Ponzi schemes, money laundering from hacks that may have actually ensued through Binance. Super intriguing stuff. Check it out for yourself. But the fact that they've been so transparent as to just publish this right away, I think shows a very, very strong set of leadership credentials by this man right here, Mr. CZ of Binance. So that's essentially the Binance FUD wrapped up in one. Are they guilty of things in the past that, could have been done better? Could they have implemented KYC earlier? Potentially, but the industry standards weren't there. You can still get into exchanges now without KYC. So it's not an even playing field if your competitors offer a service, but you don't have the KYC when you do. So I understand why it took them a long time to get all the I's dotted and T's crossed. Then last but not least, Twitter gave us this. So SlamBot, so bot_slam on Twitter. This is the draft copy of the crypto bill. So as you can see from the Senate and House representatives such as Cynthia Loomis here, this has been put together and it goes through a whole host of things. I'll leave it to you to read through the various list of things here: responsibility for taxation of digital assets, securities innovation. They've got things such as consumer protections, stable coins, all these kind of things are within this. I'll leave it down below if you want to give it a read, but this could potentially be a reason why, Bitcoin had a bit of a downturn yesterday due to the fact this was leaked. And this is a document from the 31st of May. Was it leaked intentionally? Is it even a real document? We don't know. We're not going to get those answers right about now. But this is just one of the reasons we may have had a bit of a nuke here back down to 29.5K. The document doesn't make for particularly good reading for anon devs. Certain aspects of DeFi and even DAOs as well have been targeted. No real insight as to NFTs, however. So that could be the biggest, loophole to go for in the next cycle, backing into NFTs as they seem to be escaping the clutches of regulation here. So I hope you enjoyed this update here on Binance, the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. If you did, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye.